What's up? I'm Troubleshoot. I've never recorded this late, but Steam have had a massive update that I just need to cover, the game recording beta. Steam now have a recording built directly into their client, and it works with every single game on Steam and even non-Steam games as long as you launch them through Steam and can access the overlay, for example. We'll talk about everything you need to know and more in this super quick video. To start off, what is the game recording beta? Well, you're probably already familiar with things like Nvidia Shadowplay and other software that allows you to record your gameplay and also record it in the background. You hit a hotkey and bam, the past minute or two is saved and you can share it with your friends if you forget to start recording, which is great. That is now built directly into Steam, and I'll show you how to turn it on in just a moment. On top of this, it also comes with a built-in video editor, so you can snip out portions and then share them over Steam Chat, Discord, or even send them to the Steam app on your mobile device, which is huge. And also on top of this, as you can see in the clip here, it actually includes the highlights from games, currently only CSGO and Dota 2. That'll show you interesting things that happen, such as multi-kills or interactions in-game, which is going to save you a ton of time if you want to look for a specific action or thing happening in a video clip. This is great, but currently that functionality is limited to Dota 2 and CS2, but if you scroll down on the announcement page linked down below, you'll see that the API has been released for all developers, and you should see some sort of interactability come up with many more games in the near future. This is fantastic. I previously showcased software like the Steel Series Recorder that allows you to have similar functionality, but it's limited to a couple of games that have this sort of extra feature built into it. With this brand new SDK made available, especially from a huge publisher like Valve, this interactability is going to be built into many games in the future and retroactively into previous games. So with enough speaking about exactly what this is, you'll find everything you need to know and more in the description down below. Let's actually turn this on and use it. In order to try out the beta, open up Steam, head across to Settings, Interface, and under Beta Participation, select Beta. That's it. So if I pull across Steam here, click Steam in the top left, followed by Settings, and then under the Interface tab on the far left over here, you should find the Client Beta Participation. Simply make sure that this is changed from the No Beta Chosen option to the Steam Beta Update. Then when you close this window or select it, you'll be told you need to restart Steam. Just click Yes, and now you should have the functionality built in. In order to enable and use the game recorder, head across to Steam, followed by Settings, scroll down, and you should find a brand new section called Game Recording. The first time you open it up, you'll see this pop up over here. We can click Learn More, which should take you across to this page here, and we can click Got It to actually turn it on. So as you can see here, we can have off record in the background, so we can save up to the last 2 hours of video, and we can record on demand. I'd recommend only choosing the third option here if you're going to start and stop recordings manually, and you're never going to need to pull back the past 2 minutes of interesting things, such as a frag or a multi-kill or something like that. For most people, I'd recommend choosing record in background, so it's always recording. It'll use up to this amount of disk space on your drive, but it'll allow you to save a huge amount from the past, especially if you just happen to miss something. Then, just below this, you'll see how many minutes you want to record in the past, so you can record 2 hours or 4 hours or whatever you want. It'll calculate the amount of disk space based off of the quality that you have selected here. These are very similar to the bitrates when you're streaming on Steam. If you haven't done anything like that, don't worry about it. If you have a ton of drive space or you're recording to a hard drive, select the highest option here and things should look great, especially if you're going to be using the record on demand feature only. Otherwise, if you're going to be recording in the background, highest should be good, otherwise I'd choose high. This is Steam Deck compatible, which is fantastic. If you're using a portable device, you may want to choose medium or something even lower, depending on how much space you have available on your drive. Anyways, I'll be leaving this on highest for the best quality clips and recordings. Then scrolling down, you'll see the raw recordings folder. If you have a small gaming SSD and a bigger hard drive, click the change folder button here and navigate to, then select a place that you'd like to record your games to on your bigger hard drives. For example, I don't have a ton of space left, but 100 gigs is good enough for a short example video. In the future, I'll be changing it to a much bigger, slower hard drive that I can record to and not have to worry about a disk space. Then just below this, enable GPU hardware encoding. If you have AMD, Intel, or Nvidia graphics cards with specific chips on them to record gameplay, which have been many past generations, for Nvidia it's the NVENC chip, you should definitely have this turned on. It should be on by default, and if you're not too sure, turn it on anyways, and you should find great results come from it. This will put even less stress on your system when it comes to recording with super low overhead, so input latency, frame rates, frame times, and all of that shouldn't really be affected by this recording in the background anyways. Just a quick note, if you are going to be using this brand new feature and you currently have something like Nvidia Shadowplay enabled, I'd definitely recommend disabling Shadowplay and using this instead, especially if you want the extra functionality from this. Though what you use to record your system is your choice, so choose what you want. I'd recommend only having one type of recording running at a time if you want super stable, good performance everywhere. Scrolling further down, there's a couple of shortcut keys that you need to make note of. F12 has pretty much always been the hotkey to take screenshots, but we now have a Control F12. We can click here and change this to anything else, so Alt F10 for example. I'll leave it as Control F12, but just keep in mind you can change this shortcut here at any time. And on top of this, if you're a controller player, there's an option down here to add a timeline marker with your controller. At the very bottom, record microphone. If you choose to turn this on, it'll record your microphone input along with the gameplay audio, and we can choose to record the audio from the game only, all system sounds, or game and selected programs. So if you choose game audio only, things like Spotify won't be recorded here. If you choose all system audio, your YouTube browser window, Spotify, and everything else will be recorded, including Discord for example, where game audio only will record none of that, except for the game itself. And finally, game and selected programs allows you to choose things like Discord for example, so it'll record the game and Discord only. I'd recommend leaving your microphone turned on, especially if you have some kind of usual reactions that you have, but if you have a noisy microphone and you don't usually speak, you can obviously leave this off anyways. For me, I'll be leaving this as game and selected programs, and I'll be selecting Discord here just to make sure that records as well. Now that we have everything set up, it should be recording our screen whenever we launch into a Steam game or a game that we've added to Steam. So I'll leave everything as is. Let's get into a game and see how this works. We'll run around and find some sick clips here. You can enjoy my Doom view model. But anyways, running around here in the warm-up, doing some possibly interesting things, we can hit Control F12, and just like that, you'll see a pop-up in the bottom left corner that says User Marker Added. This is the hotkey that we added previously to add a timeline marker. So we've manually made a note for ourselves later when we want to clip that particular bit of interesting whatever, that time in the video is what we need to jump to. We'll just get a couple more kills and maybe something interesting happening here, but we'll see what happens in just a moment when we actually close out of the game. So we'll just quit here. We're done playing, and as I've told it to record the past 2 hours, or 4 hours in this case, of gameplay, everything that we've just done is all safely recorded. So if we head into View at the very top, followed by the brand new Recordings and Screenshots section, you'll see a full screen window pops up here. This has all of our screenshots from previously, which is cool, but you'll now find recordings or background recordings here. So if we open up the background recording, you'll see that my entire gameplay was recorded. Obviously, as I told it to record up to 2 hours of gameplay. If you set that to 6 hours and just say, play a whole bunch of games, everything that you do in every game will be recorded as long as you fire them up through Steam. The quality of these is pretty good. Obviously, my voice will be here and the game sound too, and of course, Discord on top of that if you have that open. As you can see at the very bottom, we have this blue marker over here, which is the user marker. That's what happened when I hit Control F12. But we also have these white markers, which if we click them or hover over them, you'll see that I killed Daryl with a Glock 18. Over here, there's another one, here, another one. This was a double kill. And if we choose to click this, it'll skip to the beginning of whatever action it is, play this, and you'll see whatever happens here. So something happens, there's one very rough kill, and another one over here. Pretty cool. In the bottom right, there's a clip feature. Click this, and you'll see this section highlighted on the timeline. You can drag the start point and the end point around to clip exactly what you want. So I want to save just this portion over here, all the way up to this end over here. Seems pretty good. What we need to do is just click the Save and Share button in the bottom right. This will pop up a brand new section of the window that allows us to save the video in Steam, export the video file, copy to clipboard, or even send to our phone. I'll start with Save in Steam. If we click this, just like that, this clip has been saved separately. As you can see here, we have the background recording and this specific clip. Fantastic. If we choose to share this and then export the video file, it'll save as a normal MP4. It's named the video file a double kill followed by a bunch of random numbers, and it's around 52 megs on the highest quality for only 12 seconds of gameplay. Not too bad. But this gets super interesting when we share and instead choose copy to clipboard. If we go into a Discord server and hit Control V, you'll see this pops up at the very bottom like we're sending any old video. If we hit enter, it'll send this video to the Discord chat or DM as it was copied to our clipboard. This shouldn't actually be saved to your drive for longer than it needs to be for it to send, so you can keep your file system quite clean, as this is just temporarily saved, sent to wherever, and then the temporary file should probably be deleted after that point automatically. Sweet, but let's take this a step further. Let's share this and send it to phone. You'll see that we have this pop-up over here, and it'll tell us that we can send it to our phone if we have push notifications turned on. I apparently don't. We can also use a scan QR code to send it to our phone instead, or anyone who scans it. So if we wait for it to upload to Steam servers, we'll have a link here that we can copy, or we can show a QR code to scan it with our phone and go straight to it. I'll do exactly that, showing it and scanning it, clicking the link. You'll now see that just like that, our video pops up on our phone on the Steam server. This is fantastic. It's super quick. Obviously, you don't even need to download it on your phone. You can just copy the link here, or rather, click share, followed by create a shareable link, and this will upload it to Steam servers anyway, and you can just copy it directly. I think these two are the same thing. It's just the push straight to your phone should have it pop up in the push notifications on whatever device you have your Steam Authenticator loaded on. So if we open this, pasting it in, there is our video here on the internet, ready to be shared. Sweet. If we hover over the double kill portion of this video, for example, and click the Create Clip button, it'll select just this portion here, which is the interesting part from this video. We can also click the button right next to it to view the clip if we've already created one for that particular time. So this is a super in-depth video editor, especially for how early this feature is. It's still in beta, and Steam have done a fantastic job here with this. This works with any game. Once again, let me remind you, not just CS2 and Dota 2. Though of course this extra functionality will come to more games as more games accept and use the brand new SDK available to them. So we've run through all of that. The only last thing that we can cover is recording on demand. If we choose this, it'll only record when we press a button. So you'll see that we still have the add a timeline marker, but now we also have a shortcut to start and stop recording. So if we have this set as is and fire into something like Balacho here, which is not CS2 or Dota 2, and we hit Control F11, you'll see a pop-up in the bottom left saying our recording has started. We can immediately start playing and doing whatever. So just like that, I did something, things are happening, cool. I'll hit Control F12 to create a marker on the timeline. If you so wish, we'll do something else, and when we're happy, we can save the video by hitting Control F11 once more, or whatever we set it to be. Now, if we hit Shift Tab instead of going into Steam, we can actually find clips still while we're playing the game. At the very bottom, you'll find the Recordings and Screenshots button, which when we click it, pops up this same window where we see recordings and screenshots for this game only. So, to see all of them, you'll be doing it from the Steam client, View followed by Recordings and Screenshots, but when you're in a game, you can come into the Shift Tab menu, Recordings and Screenshots, and find ones for only that game in particular. And hey, here is our video that we just manually clipped here. Fantastic. It even has the marker that we set in it right here. That's cool and all, but if you choose to have background recordings on, for example, if we click it here, you can see whatever section we clipped, as well as the rest of the gameplay that we would have recorded. I have background recording off, so that's not actually saved here, but assuming I head back into Steam settings, game recording, and enable it here, it should start working pretty much straight away. Oh hey, and also on top of this, hitting Shift Tab, we now have this play bar at the very top, which we can scrub around in real time, assuming we click the Rec button at the very bottom here, and we can immediately see what we're doing in game as it's actually happening, which is pretty cool and Definitely not something I expected. So in real time, while we're playing the game with background recording, we can clip a particular portion all the way up to real time if you really wanted, save and share, etc. all the same way as we did previously, with a couple of tooltips popping up telling us exactly what we can do. Anyways, a huge, fantastic update. I'll definitely be using the heck out of this, and it's got the ability to beat out tons of extra software in that I don't need to start up anything at all. And as for Nvidia Shadowplay, I've never been a fan of the GeForce experience, never mind the brand new Nvidia app. This seems super less invasive and something that I'd rather use instead. Anyways, let me know what you think about the brand new Steam game recording beta in the comments down below. I'm super interested in hearing what your thoughts are. Thank you all for watching. My name's been Troubleshoot. I'm going to get some sleep, and I'll see you all next time. Ciao. And a special thank you to Superior Emerald for being an ultimate supporter.